Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.
Good day, madam.
Show me some.
Good day, sir.
How are you, buddy?
Good. I like your jacket that you got on there.
Got that Don't Suck at Sales gear, y'all.
I have my shirt on. I actually had that jacket on yesterday. So I decided to wear my black t-shirt today with this is like a multicolored logo. It's cool. It's like pink and then it goes into blue. You can't really tell.
I know. I think we got the same color logo going on. I like
Yours
it.
looks white though from here.
Does
it?
It
Look white. It totally looks white, but it's not. It's illusion. That's what happened.
It is. It is.
I love it.
So we got yelled at, Miranda. I don't know if you caught that in the comments section on our last podcast about someone saying this starts at 6 minutes. So I commented, I'm like, oh, you didn't like our banter? We're sorry about that. And the individual was like, I think I was just in a mood.
Wow.
So we won't make people wait 6 minutes this time. I don't want to get.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should go for 7. No, I'm just joking. Maybe that person needs to hear what we're about to talk about today more than ever if they wrote that comment, because the thing that we're going to talk about today is near and dear to my heart, because I think everyone that's listening can relate to what we're about to talk about. John, I remember the first year that I did life insurance sales, I wrote 425 that year, and I averaged like $7,500 of APV every week, not month. Right. So I was just very consistent, right? Like I say that consistency is the mark of a true champion, and it's better to be consistently good than occasionally awesome. That's like my tagline. It's in my book, like everything. So anyway, so I was just used to being consistent, and I remember there was one week that I had booked 15 appointments, or actually I think I got in front of 15 people. So I don't know if I had a really good show rate, but I remember it was 15 people I got in front of, and guess how many people I helped?
I'm gonna go with a solid goose egg.
It was a goose egg. It was a goose egg, and this wasn't when I was like brand new and had no idea what I was doing. This is when I was like used to being featured on all these conference calls, national calls, whatever. And I remember Ryan Miller, my upline, he goes, okay, we're going to have you talk about that on our team call about how you went 0 for 15. And I was like, I can't believe it. Like, I feel like the worst ever, and I'm going to have to headline a call about this. And a friend of mine, Jimmy Spieldiner, who's a late friend of ours, who has since passed away, he said to me, he goes, are you questioning if you can even do this business? And I was like, no. And he was right. I was totally like, I was consistent as all get up. I was the number 1 female in the company that year. And I had one bad week. And I sure as heck, for some reason, was like, maybe I forgot how to do this. Like, I don't know, like I lost my mojo. Like, it's just so crazy, John, that no matter how good you are at this business and in sales, and we can get in our own heads, like, and a lot of times you don't want to admit it, but you do. And I'm sure it happens to you, John. You'll probably have a hard time admitting that one, but I think it happens to everyone, doesn't it? No. Like,
my ego will definitely get in the way with this one, but yeah, I've been literally 18 years old. I sold Kirby vacuum cleaners for 2 years, and then went on to sell memberships with our previous company for the better part of 10, and then I've been doing this for the last 8. So literally 20 years of sales. That's all I've ever done. And this is what I try to tell people. And thank God, I think his name was Gary Hutchinson, told me this when I was 18 years old, Miranda. He said, young man, he said, throughout the course of a month, he said, I don't care who you are, how good you are, where you come from, or what you've done. He said, here's what every single month is going to look like if you are consistent and persistent. He said, you are going to have one amazing week where every single thing that you touch, it turns into gold. Mm-hmm. It's just, you just have this mojo. You have this aura about you. It's just, everything's amazing. And then he said, you're going to have one average week. And then he also said, you are going to have one week where it's like, you forget everything. And it all just comes crumbling down in that week, Miranda. Like you can't, there's nothing you can do. Maybe your breath stinks, maybe your, like every single thing that you could possibly think that could go wrong just kind of goes wrong.
Yep.
And then you're going to have an average week. And he said, it's in that week of despair. It's in that week that like that's what like make or breaks people, right? Is how they respond in those weeks, because everyone has them throughout the course of a month, Mer. So throughout the course of a month, stay consistent, stay persistent. You're going to have one good week, one great week, one average week, one terrible week, one average week, and it will end up being a good month if you stay consistent and persistent. So, buddy, yeah, I'm with you. I've heard that forever, and those are the type of weeks that like question you, don't they? Like they question your ability, question whether you can do it.
So one of my favorite books, and I've heard it actually mentioned a lot on calls lately, is The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. And what he talks about in there is, do we have a scarcity mindset or are we living in an abundance mindset? Okay. And if you haven't read that book and you kind of feel like you're in that scarcity mindset, it's a great one to go read, but it's, I'm not going to say impossible, but it's very hard to win at sales when you're in that scarcity mindset. And here's how you can tell, okay? When you go to make a dial or when you go to sit with a family, are your thoughts selfish or are you worried about serving the person? So are your thoughts selfish or serving? And anytime that you go into a transaction and you're thinking about you and you're thinking about, you know, making that extra money for holidays or bills, or if you're worried about paying your cell phone bill, you're looking for something from somebody instead of for them. So I'm going to pause there because I have something that really helped me a lot, John, with getting out of that scarcity mindset. Because me as a single mom starting this business, I'm like looking at my bills that they were 12 to 13 grand a month. I just kicked my ex-husband out. I'm like, what am I like? I have to make this work. So like scarcity mindset, that was me, right? That was me until I worked myself out of that. But you can still win if you manage those thoughts properly. And I think now, John, especially with the holidays and everything like right around the corner, like managing the mindset of this is more important than ever, probably.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's like, have you ever heard that phrase? Like, in order to be able to fill other people's cups, you have to, like you yourself, your cup has to be full. I think it's kind of that same idea, right? Salespeople fail to kind of connect with their buyers, if you will, when they're worried about themselves. It's really hard during a sales transaction to be worried about both, right? And so like you have to, like, that's what I always loved about work, Mer, is that my situation was so terrible when I got into symmetry. My situation was atrocious. I mean, literally, like working was an scapegoat from my reality. Does that make sense? Like that's how bad my reality was. And I loved the ability to work because I could turn everything off around me and just focus on the people in front of me. And I think that that's what will turn kind of like an average salesperson into a great salesperson, is when they can shut off their entire world, not worry about anything, and truly serve someone and truly focus on them and not worry about you or what you're going to make or anything. I've never done that throughout the sales transaction. I've focused on them, if that makes sense.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have done that. Okay. And this is when we were kneecap to kneecap with people in the home. I remember I'd be sitting there and they'd be picking out a plan and I was just about to start the application. I had my phone and I'm like calculating up like how much commission I was going to be making. And every 100, I don't know how many times I've done it, but I've done it enough to know 100% of the time they did not do anything. It was like they could sense the fact that I have my phone out, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna make like it's like, so it's like
commission
the law of attraction. I didn't even know if I had commission breath, but because I went into that like, you know, frequency, I was like, immediately that I lost the sale. So
there's $1,800. That's going to pay my car. That's going to pay my
I was just, I don't even know what, yeah. So, but it's like all of a sudden you're in that, you just transferred over to that scarcity mindset or that selfish thinking, right? So And I love what you're saying, John, because the ability to turn things off, you know, when I started this business, going through a divorce, dealing with that, like I would be bawling my eyes out, so mad at my ex-husband, like so mad, just crying. And as soon as somebody answered the phone, I'm like, hi.
Mm-hmm.
It's, if you smile, right? It is like scientifically proven that you can't think bad thoughts as you are putting on that smile. So if you feel like crap, right, you're upset, you're frustrated, you're mad, typically what ends up happening is you don't smile right at the start of your phone calls or in your sales presentation, and right there you've lost it. Right, because these thoughts are overtaking it, that frequency that you're sending out, and then you wonder why the leads suck, why you suck at sales, whatever. It's because we already decided that by those thoughts that we had before we even got started. Right.
Yeah, you're focused on the wrong things. I'm telling you, like, I've heard agents do this too, where they're like, I'm like, hey, offer up this product. And they immediately go, yeah, but I make more on this. Hold on. Don't get me wrong. The number one rule of business is to stay in business, right? But I promise you, if you're focused on you and what you're going to make and how it's going to benefit you and not the adverse, not the client, I'm telling you, always, always, always think about the client first. This carefrontation mentality, this like if you can just 100% give who you are to them and treat them the exact same way that you would treat your mother. If you don't like your mom, maybe your wife. If you don't like your wife, somebody that you really love and care about.
Wow.
Right. But it's so true, buddy. I love it. Love what you're talking about today.
One thing that helped me really take what we do here seriously is when I started to think about, and like 9 out of 10 people, they are totally screwed if you don't help them, right? If somebody dies or they get really sick and they can't work, like most households do live on that's those 2 incomes. Right. And so if one person's gone, that family's screwed. And until I got in front of enough people and did the fire drill and went through that belief stuck. And I knew that if I didn't get my ass out of bed and make those phone calls and get in front of these people, that they could get sick, they could die, and the family, like, they have no clue. They'll tell you they don't need it. They'll try to get off the phone at the start of that booking call. But at the end of the day, you get in front of them. It is heartbreaking to know, especially in Southwest Florida, John, it's mostly retired people. And it's like these people work their entire lives, right, to be 75, 80 years old and not even have enough money to bury themselves. Like that 10 grand, that you know, that 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, like that's gonna be the difference if the widow's homeless or not. Like what we do, guys, like it's not a fun conversation, but it's our fiduciary responsibility to like get these people on the phone before they get sick, before they die, right, before they get some kind of medication that's going to make them uninsurable. Because that right there, John, having people die and become sick and do all these things, like when I was in the middle of feeling sorry for myself, that was the kick in the ass that I needed to say, it's not about me. It's about that single mom or that stay-at-home mom that I'm about to meet with or call, right? I bought these leads, so I'm contracted myself to like take care of them, right? To make sure if they die that their family's okay.
That's exactly right. I've heard you say that, like, too, I think up on stage, is that when you purchase that lead, it's like you've contracted yourself to do what's right and not what's easy, and have those tough conversations. And I love what you said too, Mert, 9 out of 10. I'm telling you, like, first of all, everyone needs to track their numbers. And upon tracking your numbers, if you are not helping out 90% of the families that you actually meet with, you're doing them a disservice. You're 100% doing them a disservice because 90% of the families across America need this. And so if you're not helping out 90% of the families that you sit with, you really should kind of like check your process there and really have that as your barometer. Am I saying that right, Mer? Barometer? Yeah. Is that right?
So here's something, and I know this is something that was shared. I think it might have been like the second conference that we went to, John, with Symmetry. But everyone knows I'm a huge like Miracle Morning nerd. Okay, like Miracle Morning Messenger nerd. We're actually starting this book this week, his new expanded version with my team. But the one thing that really helped me was taking control of the thoughts, affirmations, if you will, before I started my day. So if I'm going to be dialing the phone, I literally had like 5 different affirmations on a cue card that I would look at. I put up on my right next to where I was dialing, something along the lines of, maybe I should actually pull them up. I know they're on my computer somewhere, but it said like, I'm here to help people. These people might try to get off the phone, but I'm skilled enough to book an appointment and get in front of them. They need my help. Right. And then when I was meeting with clients, it was the same thing, was I'm going to work as hard as I can to get through this client presentation and see if they need my help. I'm not going to prejudge, right? I'm going to go through the system. And I went through every day when I'm building a team. I would be like, doing interviews all day. I say things to myself like, I'm looking for those right business partners, right? I'm going to weed through and, be the best version of me today to help my clients find the people that I want to do business with. And so it's like these intentional conversations that you have with yourself before your day started. What do those look like? Is that something that we can write out and be intentional with? Because everyone has bad days, right? Every single person has bad days. It's good. It's easy to kick ass when you feel good and when things are good.
Yeah.
But what kind of strategy do you have in place for when they're not?
Yeah.
You know?
That's so good. And I know we're at the top of our time here, but I love that, pal. And like one of the things I'm telling you, like go listen like your favorite song. Like, would you agree, Mer, when your favorite song like on a planet comes on, it just like Ice Ice Baby, does that not like immediately bring a smile to your face? And so like that's for Miranda. But like that's what I would do, like knowing that like there's something funky in my brain. There's something funky with the way that I feel. There's like I literally right before that presentation, I'm listening to my favorite song. Or I'm listening to a podcast that's just going to get me all jacked up, right? And full of excitement and full of vinegar, right? And full of just optimism and positivity, and like fill your cup up literally right before every single presentation. Do it right before every single time that you dial. Watch how drastically your results change because you simply feel better. That's so good, buddy.
And if you have those, again, take inventory of your thoughts. Are they selfish or are they serving? If they're selfish, you can go to work on that. If again, don't go into your presentation or your phone calls with that thought. Get yourself right, because boom, that's how you don't suck at sales, John. That's it.
Don't suck at sales, y'all. Click here, click here, click here, click wherever you click. Click subscribe. We appreciate you guys listening. Outside of that, bye, y'all.
Yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.